Let us understand the current scenario as we close a sprint. For our project, we have 3 releases planned. The releases are Release 1, Release 2 and Release 3. Each release has 3 sprints or iterations. For example, Release 1 has 3 sprints and they are Sprint 1, Sprint 2 and Sprint 3. Each sprint is of 2 weeks duration or 10 working days. In case you want to have 3 weeks or 4 weeks of sprint, that is also perfectly fine. However, whatever planning you are going to do for your sprint length or duration, that you should do from the very beginning of the project. In every sprint or iteration, we are going to deliver certain features. After all, that is what we do in Agile. We deliver within a short time frame. And these features will be delivered in the form of an increment. The features are finally broken down into tasks for estimation, planning, adjustment, tracking, and closing. This distinction is important. You are delivering the features to your client who may be internal or external. Whereas when you are tracking as a project manager or Agile project manager or a Scrum master, you are tracking the individual tasks. Because when you complete the task, the feature, which will be a summary task, will also get auto-completed. Similar concepts will be applicable if you are using story format instead of features. You will have the story written in user story format. Say, as a user, I want this functionality so that I will get this benefit or value. That will be a statement within your MS project plan. And that story will be broken down to individual tasks. And you are going to complete the tasks and close the tasks. So this is depicted in our figure here for the project. Our project is from here to here and it is ongoing. This project has 3 releases, Release 1, then Release 2 and Release 3. Every release has multiple sprints. For example, Release 1 has Sprint 1, Sprint 2, Sprint 3. Similarly, Release 2 has Sprint 4, Sprint 5, Sprint 6 and so on. This is the time span of the sprint from here to here. Next, what is happening within the sprint? We already understood there will be number of features which will be broken down into tasks and they will be delivered at the end of the sprint or possibly also within a sprint. Along with that, we will have 4 key events or 4 ceremonies. The ceremonies are sprint planning, next is daily scrum, then you have sprint review, and the last event is sprint retrospective. Sprint planning, review and retrospectives, all these events will be your individual line items within your plan, which is your sprint backlog. On the other hand, the daily scrum will be a recurring task because daily scrum will be happening daily throughout the sprint. Coming back, another important point to note here is the status date, which is depicted as the vertical red line in our figure. We are closing our sprint at the end of sprint 1, that is the final date of sprint 1. This is when the closure of sprint is happening. You might be thinking at exactly what point of time we are closing the sprint. So this is in our next figure. Only after you have completed the sprint retrospective, then you go for the closure of the sprint. Because the number of things or number of steps are performed for sprint retrospective. It is possible new action items or new improvement items or process improvement items may come up. And those improvement items have to be added to your product backlog, which is your overall plan. That is overall MS project plan. Your sprint backlog for the current sprint is getting completed. So if you are taking an action item, it has to be moved to one of the next sprint. So this is how we have the initial understanding and how and when we are going to close a sprint within a project. As we proceed further with respect to our article, you will understand step by step how to close a sprint. Initially, it may not be that straightforward and easy. However, as you go through this article couple of times or 3-4 times, you will understand very clearly how to close a sprint. And you can do it within 15 to 20 minutes.